Mama never say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there o see dem yopo.
Ebusia for Fifi Pratt edi anu ye kese bi edi John Dramani Mahama na according to Fifi Pratt no se nyame bi wo baabi a ono sa nyame no hye political party de ono Fifi Pratt oni sa nyame no mu ni tweka bia aha ere so PENDREAM TV e be se ube subscribe to this particular channel na fensi no me notification bell no so se na be ya content no ba na unsa evertimi akabi na yenko tie Fifi Pratt e bra odi sa enchichemu we ba se based on the comment that John Dramani Mahama make about the Cathedral no NDC for Thanksgiving as no according to Fifi Pratt no ono njindi se nyankopon achusu John Dramani Mahama over Baomia eno njindi so se years back crampo no nyankopon achusu nanado over John Dramani Mahama onjindi sa no jidi se nipa ene say line eko tuaba eno mo tuaba based on omasetene mu ni ade enti mo biamba emfambe batare un se nyankopon ene chusu John Dramani Mahama edima Ghana for na Ghana for ene ko tuaba eyi John Dramani Mahama as their president of the Republic of Ghana na yenko Fifi Pratt ebra odisa education way eba ewa ha say yenko tie ni embrasisia.
Well, I listened to the president at the Thanksgiving service organized by the National Democratic Congress. And I cannot have any quarrel with his announcement that investigations into the funding of the project will be carried out. That more or less is a directive from the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, and his government is expected to carry out that investigation. So there can be no problem with that. However, there are issues with some of the things that he said. One, the opposition to the building of the National Cathedral was based on the fact that many people thought that a secular state had no business building any religious monument, you understand? And he benefited, or his party benefited, from that position, which was taken by many people in the public, that look, this is a secular state. If some churches want to build a cathedral, let them go and build it themselves. We should not get involved and so on. He benefited a lot from it. It seems to me that he's suggesting that the cathedral can be built with the involvement of the state is troubling. He does say that it should not be funded by the state.
Okay.
But funding is not the only involvement of the state. You understand? There are other things that the state can do in order to facilitate that. And I was a bit disappointed, when I heard those suggestions. I mean, the people who opposed the building of the cathedral did not oppose it because it was being built in the ridge area. You understand? So if you move the project from the ridge area to Abekala Pass, or Kumasi or even Tamale, it doesn't change the argument at all. So his suggestion that in the future it may not be built on that site really does not address the question. And I was very uncomfortable with that. Again, I think that it's important for President Mahama and all of us to realize that this a country in dire, in a very dire economic situation. And what we probably have to be worried about is our inability to provide decent houses to workers. Our inability to ensure that the working people have a living wage, and so on. Those should be our concern rather than the building of cathedrals and so on. I think we should urge that very strongly on the president. Besides, even from a theological point of view, this whole cathedral business does not hang together properly. Look, they claim that they have a God, and that this God actually created heaven and earth. That is their claim. So this God who created heaven and earth actually needs his creation to provide him with a residence. It doesn't make sense. This omnipotent God who is able to create everything on earth and in heaven and so on, needs a residence, and his creation has to go and give him the residence. I mean, really, it doesn't make any sense at all. You know, and then this thing about the bias of God. I mean, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo actually claimed that God decided to make him president, decided to support him over his other competitors. What kind of biased God is that? Really? So is God that biased? So when we were electing him, God was biased in favor of MPP and against NDC. Does it make sense? And then, unfortunately, President Mahama also claims that God was biased in his favor against Bawumia. Well, where is the evidence? And really, I mean, the concept of God does not portray him as being biased at all. So these politicians really, they are doing irreparable damage to the image of God. If you have a God who wears party colors, I don't want to see that God. If you have a God who is MPP, what am I going to do with that God? If you have a God who prefers President Mahama to Mahmoud Bawumia, what do I have to do with that God? The God who created all of us equally and so on shows bias when it comes to elections. Please stop inflicting us with that.
I know what you want to say, Kwesi. Please don't. I know what you want to say. Please don't.
What is this?
Except that, Kwesi, you know when this, how do you call it, the National Cathedral matter came up, there were two strands of opinions. There was one that said, okay, you want to put up a cathedral for whatever reason, that's fine, but not at the current location, at the Ridge area. Take it somewhere. You can take it to, say, Pram, or, you know, somewhere very far away from town, because then hopefully it would also attract some kind of tourism, you know, to those areas, and its subsequent or attendant benefits with the economic activities. There was that opinion.
I don't think that was one of the loudest voices in the campaign.
Yeah, but you've also been championing minority opinions and rights, and that's why I'm bringing this, because I know you very well. You champion minority rights all the time.
Master, my position is that the state has no business in the building of a cathedral. Whether it is at Matahiku or Kutubabi or Pig Farm, the state has no business getting involved in the building of a cathedral.
So,
you understand?
Right. So
that's my position.
Okay. So then, and as you said, the state involvement is not only through monetary or financial, but the state must wash its hands off even giving a landed property, such as the Ridge area. So in essence, you're saying that, look, collapse that thing. If you want to do your own thing, go and do your own thing. So, but the state should not get involved at all. I think your point has been clear.
It's not just my point; it's the point of many people.
Yeah, of many people, yes,
and especially many of the people who voted for President John Dramani Mahama. And I think he should take
loud and clear that they don't want the cathedral. Okay, Aruna, cathedral. Should the Christian community go ahead and build it where it is, or, you know, demolish it, give the land back to?
There's nothing to demolish. It's a hole.
It's a hole. Yeah, great actually. Well, not demolish actually, but, you know, stop it. Basically, stop it and put the place to some other use apart from a national cathedral. And as Uncle Kwesi said, wash your hands off. Your state, you have no involvement. But interestingly, you remember when what's the name of this CPP chap? The guy who took the matter to court. I've forgotten, the former CPP General Secretary. He took the matter to court and wanted the Supreme Court to... Sorry?
Atik?
Not Atik. Oh, Atik is PNC. What's the name of this guy? He's not a doctor. That's a PhD. You know, he took the matter to court to go and see... Sorry? Yes, Bonfrey. Yes, he took the matter to court and went to court to tell the court that, look, it's a secular state, and so nobody should be allowed to do anything for any religious group and thing. The court did not agree with him and said the president had every right to do anything for any religious persuasion. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.